Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rasan427. Today I want to talk about a gallery edition. That's actually Daredevil, Guardian Devil. Now, I actually have read this in whole entire thing, straight front to back, read it. And I would definitely say it was a good read. I definitely don't think it's as good as other Daredevil stories I read. Nowhere near good as Born Again. But some people believe it's like a sequel to Born Again. And I won't say I was disappointed with it, but it's like the hype around it, I just didn't really feel it. Maybe it was too much hype going into it, and me paying. Now I pay half price for this, so I'm not that mad. It's actually retail. I'm gonna show you the retail price. See, Daredevil, Guardian Devil. Love this cover art right here. Daredevil, Guardian Devil. This actually by Kevin Smith. I'm a Kevin Smith fan. Joe Quesada, who was actually the Marvel editor for a while. So that's really cool. And this actually collects Daredevil number 1/8.5 issue, which is basically pictures and stuff like that. But yeah, this is by Kevin Smith, illustrated by Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti and more. I believe he did the inks, the colors, something like that, what you call it. But yeah, and the art in the book, I don't know, Joe Quesada, sometimes I feel like his art is really good. Like this, I'm not a fan of this style art. It just looks, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this style. But you look at this, I think it looks fantastic. This is by the same person, but I don't know. Some of it just this was really hit or miss for me inside this whole book. There were certain shots like this cover. I think it's fantastic. Absolutely love this cover. But then it's like you get into the book, and this is actually the intro right here. I thought it was a really good story. I thought it was a really good story. Just, I guess not as good as people say it is, and not as good as just stories in general. Like, people put this up there as one of the greatest stories ever. I personally probably wouldn't say that. I would say it's just a really good story. But you see, look at this art. I think it's fantastic. But like this, I'm just not a fan. It just looks kiddish. I don't know. It just seems like the art just changed throughout the pages. I don't know if that's just my eyes, the way I see it. I just feel like this Daredevil. You look at this right here. Daredevil. It looks completely different from this guy. It looks like two different artists, just to me personally. That was one gripe that I actually have with this book. But it was a really, really good story. Definitely really dark in tone. I mean, Daredevil was usually like that anyway. But this is actually the restart and a reboot of Daredevil. I believe this is his first #1 since the #1. Because this came out in '98, which Daredevil, a lot of people believe that this time, like, his comics were going downhill. Because he could see at that time, this is where he wore, like, the black suit with the red. But this is actually his reboot, his restarting. But you see, the story of this is basically all about a baby. And is the baby evil? Is the baby causing harm on him and stuff like that? That's basically what it's all about, this actually story. So he gets it from this random girl, and he starts to believe people. You see, it's the #2 issue right here. You have Black Widow in here as well. So he starts to lose his mind. Like, is this baby evil? Is this baby not? Should he kill the actual baby? And you see this old guy. Once you actually get the reveal, which is actually, a villain, is not actually true and stuff like that, you start to see stuff actually unfold and why everything is actually happening. You see Black Widow still in it. You get Karen Page, who actually, in this book, all spoilers, I read the book. She has AIDS in the book. HIV, AIDS, I don't know which one it is. AIDS, but they say HIV later on, or before this or something like that. Which, that's a huge thing. But then you actually find out that she might not have had it all along. That's what what is his name? Mysterio actually said. And then something happens to her later on in the book as well. That Foggy actually gets accused of murder because this girl jumped out the window, but it looks like he threw her out the window. So Daredevil's life is basically falling apart, and he's thinking that it's the baby that's actually doing this. It's the baby. They think he met up with a devil and stuff like that. He thinks it's the baby that's actually causing all this harm to his life and everything. And then you get the fight between him and Black Widow. This is when he thought about killing the baby, but he really didn't kill the actual baby. Then you get the mother from the church. But yeah, I was really enjoying this story, and it was just a really, really good read getting through this whole entire thing. Of course, you get him as you get Bullseye. Can't have a Daredevil story without Bullseye. But to be honest, I would kind of put on the same level with some people may disagree with this, like with the Daredevil going on right now. I believe was a Saladin Ahmad. Like, I would say I enjoyed this just as much as that. I know some people would put this way over it, but it was just like, Okay, it was cool. And then you get Mephisto. You get a version of Mephisto in this. It's just to get Doctor Strange in this. And once you start dealing with the mystical stuff and the otherworldly stuff, and this big reveal is when you get, where is it at? The death of Karen Page right here. Bullseye actually kills her, so she actually dies. Okay, that was issue number 5, so you get 3 more issues with actually without her. So Daredevil was super sad at this point. She gets killed. And this is when he finds out that it's Mysterio pulling the strings and doing everything. Because Mysterio is actually sickly and he's about to die actually inside this. So he's like, I wanted to come after you because, from my understanding, Spider-Man wasn't Peter Parker at this time. It was the Ben Reilly Spider-Man who took over for Peter Parker. And Mysterio didn't want to come after him because that's not the person he's been fighting all this time. So he said, well, I'm going to go after you because Mysterio had been planning this for a year, I believe. So he'd been planning this for a year. So you might say, well, at this time, I believe it was Peter Parker back again. But at that time, it was Ben Reilly when he started to make the plans for it and stuff like that. I don't know what this is all in my book. But when he started to make the plans for it and everything like that, and you see this is the version of Daredevil. It's showing the history of Daredevil. But he started making the plans for it. So he said, you know, I'm going to go after Daredevil and basically ruin his life. You see, this is Mysterio right here, dying, about to die. So, yeah, it was. I thought it was a really, really good story. Really good story. Really glad what they did with actually that. You see, you get the funeral right here. You get Death of a Masked Man. You get Peter Parker. I don't like the way Peter Parker is drawn. This is just another issue. Like, I don't know. That doesn't look like Peter Parker to me. Then you get the funeral. You get Foggy Nelson still in jail. And then he actually inherits money. See, he actually has a conversation with Spider-Man. He inherits money from Karen. And that's how he opens up his, what is it called? His practice back again. But you see his conversation with Spider-Man. With that conversation was fine. You know, it was all just fine to me. It was a good read, but not anything that I would say is amazing. Like Born Again, I thought was absolutely amazing. I thought it was really one of the best stories I've ever read. That lives up to hype. I feel like this one was just a really good one right here. And you see at the end, this is him actually getting his practice back using the money. I believe it was like $2 million, $3 million that he was left with. And you see the baby that was actually there. So he wants to watch over the baby still. But you see in the back of the book where we actually gets the half issue, get some stuff, some read-ups on here. This is really cool right here. You get all different types of artists. I believe this is what, David Mack? Something like that. But yeah, you get all different types of artists in this half issue. This is basically like a reset on Daredevil. Now, this actually led into Brian Michael Bendis and Ed Brubaker's run after this. After he did his 8 issues, this is what led into all the other stuff. You get an afterword by Ben Affleck, because around this time is when this is before Ben Affleck. So, but he was about to become Daredevil. So he played Daredevil inside the movie. So that's pretty cool. You get a Daredevil Visionaries by Kevin Smith. These are both from the Visionaries, which is actually a trade paperback. So this is actually pretty much the newest edition of this right here, because I have 3 Daredevil. I have 3 different gallery editions at this point. I have the yellow one, I have Born Again, and I have this. So definitely check out the other 2 overviews on my channel. But yeah, super cool. All right, I love this. Is probably my favorite one right here. Absolutely love that. There was like negative space and stuff. This is super cool. This one too. I think that one is fantastic right there. But you see, you get some sketches right here from Joe Quesada. Super, super cool. But I believe he went right off of the book. I believe David Mack took over as a writer and somebody else was penciling it. I believe David Mack was the writer. Then he became the artist on Daredevil. But yeah, I thought it was a really, really good read. Do I think it's one of the best? Yeah, I can say it's one of the best Daredevil storylines. I do not think it's one of the best comic book storylines overall. That's my personal opinion. But tell me your thoughts on Daredevil, Guardian Devil 1 to 8 in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe.